City Council for December 22nd.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, need a motion and second to approve the agenda.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the agenda? Those in favor say aye.
Sorry, do we have to add the email?
The letter of credit reduction.
The letter of
Marty?
credit reduction? Yeah, sorry.
Oh, the one that Marty sent.
That Marty had sent out?
Um,
Add
Can
it.
make
that
that.
would
To
just be added
consent.
to consent, yeah.
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 So D1.
Didn't he send out a new
That was for.
agenda? I thought he had updated the agenda.
I
just saw
don't know.
the
Not that I saw.
Just the letter or
Okay.
the piece that Marty sent.
Okay, so that's a D1. Any
Sorry,
other?
Mr. Mayor.
That's okay. We missed it. Any other adjustments? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. 4-0. Consent. I need a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on consent? All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say no. Motion carries 4-0. Open forum.
Are we online?
Are we on?
No.
Oh, okay. That takes care of that. Staff updates. Paul,
None.
I don't have any updates either.
Travis,
Have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
ditto. Dave.
Same for me.
Ditto.
All right. On to council business. Action items. Approval of leave of absence for patrol officer.
Morning, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. The only reason why I put this on action item is if you guys want to go above and beyond what our policy manual is for the officer. He has sent out a list of questions to me, and his main concern is his defined benefits is what he wants to continue while on leave. So it's up to you guys to approve it. You guys have to approve anything over 90 days for unpaid leave.
So I found a bunch of information on the League of Minnesota Cities website around this, and we can approve it certainly if that's the way we go, but it looks to me like that's required by state and federal law already.
Which is?
The extended leave for military.
So we do allow him to leave, and we allow him to come back with no lapse time. So he would have the same seniority when he comes back. He would
Yeah.
have the same position when he comes back. But the personnel policy doesn't allow us to continue his benefit.
Yeah, and I think we can, make a change here so that it does say that. But I also, again, think those are covered. Employer obligation for continuing benefits under military leaves. We have to go out to 4 years on that. This thing, I'm not going to try to read it to everybody, but there's 13 pages of stuff about this specific topic on the league site, and it cites all of the state and federal and Veterans Affairs requirements, and most of it's covered. I think that the only thing that we may want to talk about here is if we want to do differential pay during that time that he's gone, which would be to offset the difference, if there is one, between what the military will pay him and what he's making here.
Yeah, and I talked to Officer Johnson, and he won't be losing any money while he's overseas.
Okay, so it's not an issue for him. But as policy, if we're going to amend a policy, is that something we would want to include going forward? What I read in this is it said city agencies are not required to do that, but state and federal agencies are already required to do that. So it seems to me like, why are we being cheap then being the government agency that he particularly reports to. I would certainly be in favor of that, even if it's not, and it's an offset, so if he's making similar or more money there, then, well, maybe he doesn't want to come back, but.
Depending on what type of
you know,
work you're
it's
doing.
only if there's a difference, and
Yeah.
we would pay that difference.
Yeah.
And there's language in here that talks about how the city would go about doing that, you know, accruing it and paying it in a lump sum or other arrangements made with that employee. But in my mind, I think we ought to follow that guidance.
Well, you're saying that they lay out state statute,
Mm-hmm.
and that says all benefits have to continue for up to 4 years?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, all of the things you mentioned, seniority, insurance, and
So
that's something he can elect to not.
Correct,
It also
so through
mentions
state
that after
statute, we have
31
to
days.
offer him COBRA, which in our policy, that's what we would do. So he would still have the option, it's not like he would go without insurance, but it would be out-of-pocket expense. The city wouldn't be paying for it. So, I mean, that's the only difference. So I don't think we're going against state statute, what our policy says, but yes, our policy is very stingy as far as what we give.
I've got no problem covering for the 9 months or 4 years. I think if someone's going to go off and do that, it's the least we can do, in my opinion. So, but I think your point is more or less is should the policy as a whole change? Is that kind of what you're getting at? Which I don't disagree with either. I'm just trying to understand.
Well, it seems like what it says is correct, but there's a lot more that's already required by state or federal or Veterans Affairs that we wouldn't need to have a separate policy on, but in our employee manual, a lot of this ought to be maybe spelled out a little more
Incorporated,
clearly
yep.
what we are going to do. Because if it's federal law or state law, we don't need to have our own ordinance around it. But we do need to have, we do as it relates to any, offset pay that we would be doing or differential pay.
Yeah, we're going to be updating the personnel policy because we have to add the sick and safe time as well, so I can take a look at this section, and if that's what's desired, we can add offset pay as well.
I would make that motion that we include that along with beefing up the language to describe more fully what it
and that
is
would
that we're
be
doing.
specifically for
Military.
deployments,
This all relates to
activation.
This is
city
military leave.
employees and
Yep.
military leave was what this.
And our
guy-
policy doesn't separate those.
It does.
Oh, it does.
Separates military leave from unpaid leave.
Unpaid or personal.
medical leave. Yep, there's 3 different sections. The
I
military
would
leave
make
just
this-
doesn't, it just says that they can leave up to 90 days, then we'll still cover full benefits.
Yep. But what you're saying is the league's guidance is state statute requires us to keep going for up to 4 years.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the state or the Uniform Service Employment and Reemployment Act, which would be federal law, but one of those covers. They've got all of the references in this, and I can leave this with you if
Yeah, I mean, I can
you'd like.
work with
Okay.
someone
Or
in the
you-
league too.
I'm sure you
Yeah.
find it too.
I'm surprised is he Army Guard? Is he Army Guard or?
He's special ops for intelligence and
For which
analyst.
branch though?
I think Army.
Army. You'd think they'd be aware of that.
And he just had a baby in November, so.
Oh, so wait, okay, so I guess, no, it's moved. Okay, so you're saying we should cover the 1,600 for,
Yeah, I guess my motion is that we follow the guidance in that LMC letter, including the differential pay.
A second.
and then we should probably update our
And
city guidance. Okay, any more discussion on that? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries 4-0. And if there are no objections, we can be adjourned. We're adjourned.
Let's go to work.